Welcome to the channel NextGen Tech Prep. In today's video, we are diving deep into essential questions and comprehensive answers for the Google Professional Cloud Security Engineer certification. Whether you're preparing for an exam or just looking to sharpen your knowledge, you're in the right place. If you find this content valuable, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's get started.
An office manager at your small startup company is responsible for matching payments to invoices and creating billing alerts. For compliance reasons, the office manager is only permitted to have the identity and access management (IAM) permissions necessary for these tasks. Which two IAM roles should the office manager have? Choose two. The options are: Option A, Organization Administrator. Option B, Project Creator. Option C, Billing Account Viewer. Option D, Billing Account Costs Manager. Option E, Billing Account User.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: matching payments to invoices, creating billing alerts, only permitted to have the identity and access management (IAM) permissions necessary.
The correct answers are Option C, Billing Account Viewer, and Option D, Billing Account Costs Manager.
Why is this correct? C. Billing Account Viewer grants the specific permissions needed to view costs and invoices to match payments, adhering to least privilege. D. Billing Account Costs Manager provides the necessary permissions to set up, manage, and create billing budgets and alerts. Why are the others incorrect? A. Organization Administrator provides excessive full control over all resources in the organization, violating the principle of least privilege. B. Project Creator only grants the ability to create new projects, which is entirely irrelevant to managing billing alerts and viewing invoices. E. Billing Account User only allows associating projects with billing accounts and does not provide the permissions required to create billing alerts.
You want to update your existing VPC Service Controls perimeter with a new access level. You need to avoid breaking the existing perimeter with this change, and ensure the least disruptions to users while minimizing overhead. What should you do? The options are: Option A, create an exact replica of your existing perimeter. Add your new access level to the replica. Update the original perimeter after the access level has been vetted. Option B, update your perimeter with a new access level that never matches. Update the new access level to match your desired state one condition at a time to avoid being overly permissive. Option C, enable the dry run mode on your perimeter. Add your new access level to the perimeter configuration. Update the perimeter configuration after the access level has been vetted. Option D, enable the dry run mode on your perimeter. Add your new access level to the perimeter dry run configuration. Update the perimeter configuration after the access level has been vetted.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: update your existing VPC Service Controls perimeter, new access level, avoid breaking the existing perimeter, least disruptions to users, minimizing overhead.
The correct answer is Option D, enable the dry run mode on your perimeter. Add your new access level to the perimeter dry run configuration. Update the perimeter configuration after the access level has been vetted.
Why is this correct? D. VPC Service Controls dry run mode maintains a separate dry run configuration. Adding the new access level here allows you to test its impact via logs without enforcing it, ensuring zero disruption before applying it to the enforced configuration. Why are the others incorrect? A. Creating and maintaining an exact replica of the perimeter adds significant management overhead and does not provide an integrated way to test the impact of access level changes on existing traffic. B. Iteratively updating conditions in the live perimeter is risky, manually intensive, and increases overhead. It is prone to errors that could inadvertently disrupt user access. C. Adding the access level directly to the perimeter configuration enforces it immediately, even if dry run mode is enabled. Changes must be added specifically to the dry run configuration to test safely.
How should a customer reliably deliver Stackdriver logs from GCP to their on-premises CM system? The options are: Option A, send all logs to the CM system via an existing protocol such as syslog. Option B, configure every project to export all their logs to a common BigQuery dataset, which will be queried by the CM system. Option C, configure organizational log syncs to export logs to a cloud pub/subtopic, which will be sent to the CM via Dataflow. Option D, build a connector for the CM to query for all logs in real time from the GCP RESTful JSON APIs.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: reliably deliver, Stackdriver logs, GCP, on-premises CM system.
The correct answer is option C. Configure organizational log syncs to export logs to a cloud pub/subtopic, which will be sent to the CM via Dataflow.
Why is this correct? C. Organizational log syncs capture logs across the organization. Exporting them to cloud pub/sub ensures reliable, scalable message delivery, while Dataflow processes and reliably streams these logs to the on-premises CM system. Why are the others incorrect? A. Cloud logging does not natively support exporting logs directly via syslog to an on-premises system, requiring complex intermediary infrastructure. B. BigQuery is optimized for analytical querying rather than serving as a continuous, reliable streaming pipeline for real-time CM ingestion. D. Building a connector to continuously query RESTful APIs for all logs is inefficient, unscalable, and risks hitting API rate limits.
Your organization wants to be General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) compliant. You want to ensure that your DevOps teams can only create Google Cloud resources in the Europe regions. What should you do? The options are: Option A, use Identity-Aware Proxy (IAP) with Access Context Manager to restrict the location of Google Cloud resources. Option B, use the org policy constraint Google Cloud Platform resource location restriction on your Google Cloud organization node. Option C, use the org policy constraint restrict resource service usage on your Google Cloud organization node. Option D, use Identity and Access Management (IAM) custom roles to ensure that your DevOps team can only create resources in the Europe regions.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) compliant, can only create Google Cloud resources in the Europe regions.
The correct answer is option B. Use the org policy constraint Google Cloud Platform resource location restriction on your Google Cloud organization node.
Why is this correct? B. The resource location restriction organization policy constraint allows you to define the physical geographic locations where your organization's resources can be created, enforcing the requirement for Europe regions. Why are the others incorrect? A. Identity-Aware Proxy and Access Context Manager control user access to resources based on identity and context, not the physical locations where resources can be created. C. The restrict resource service usage constraint limits which Google Cloud APIs and services can be used, but it does not restrict the geographic deployment locations. D. IAM roles control permissions on who can perform actions like creating resources, but they cannot enforce geographical location restrictions for resource creation.
You are routing all your internet-facing traffic from Google Cloud through your on-premises internet connection. You want to accomplish this goal securely and with the highest bandwidth possible. What should you do? The options are: Option A, create an HAVPN connection to Google Cloud. Replace the default 0.0.0.0/0 route. Option B, create a routing VM in Compute Engine. Configure the default route with the VM as the next hop. Option C, configure Cloud Interconnect with HAVPN. Replace the default 0.0.0.0/0 route to an on-premises destination. Option D, configure Cloud Interconnect and route traffic through an on-premises firewall.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: routing all your internet-facing traffic, through your on-premises internet connection, securely, highest bandwidth possible.
The correct answer is option D. Configure Cloud Interconnect and route traffic through an on-premises firewall.
Why is this correct? D. Cloud Interconnect provides the highest available bandwidth, up to 100 gigabits per second per circuit, far exceeding Cloud VPN. Routing the traffic through an existing on-premises firewall ensures the connection is secured according to the requirement. Why are the others incorrect? A. VPN provides a secure connection but only supports up to 3 Gbps per tunnel, failing to meet the requirement for the highest bandwidth possible. B. A routing VM is an internal routing mechanism. It does not provide the required physical or logical hybrid connectivity to the on-premises network securely or with high bandwidth. C. Deploying VPN over Cloud Interconnect adds IPsec encryption overhead and limits throughput to the VPN tunnel capacities, 3 gigabits per second each, negating the high bandwidth advantage of interconnect.
A company is running their webshop on Google Kubernetes Engine and wants to analyze customer transactions in BigQuery. You need to ensure that no credit card numbers are stored in BigQuery. What should you do? The options are: Option A, create a BigQuery view with regular expressions matching credit card numbers to query and delete affected rows. Option B, use the Cloud Data Loss Prevention API to redact related info types before data is ingested into BigQuery. Option C, leverage Security Command Center to scan for the assets of type credit card number in BigQuery. Option D, enable Cloud Identity Aware Proxy to filter out credit card numbers before storing the logs in BigQuery.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords, analyze customer transactions in BigQuery, ensure that no credit card numbers are stored in BigQuery.
The correct answer is option B. Use the Cloud Data Loss Prevention API to redact related info types before data is ingested into BigQuery.
Why is this correct? B. Cloud Data Loss Prevention (DLP) API can proactively inspect and redact sensitive data, like credit card numbers, in transit before it is ingested and stored in BigQuery. Why are the others incorrect? A. This approach attempts remediation after the data is already stored, which violates the strict requirement that credit card numbers must not be stored at all. C. Security Command Center identifies security vulnerabilities and threats. It does not proactively filter or redact sensitive data before ingestion into BigQuery. D. Cloud Identity Aware Proxy controls access to web applications and VMs. It does not inspect or filter data payloads for sensitive information like credit card numbers.
Your company's cloud security policy dictates that VM instances should not have an external IP address. You need to identify the Google Cloud service that will allow VM instances without external IP addresses to connect to the Internet to update the VMs. Which service should you use? The options are: Option A, Identity Aware Proxy. Option B, Cloud NAT. Option C, TCP/UDP Load Balancing. Option D, Cloud DNS.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords. VM instances should not have an external IP address. Allow VM instances without external IP addresses to connect to the Internet.
The correct answer is option B, Cloud NAT.
Why is this correct? B. Cloud NAT enables VM instances without external IP addresses to securely connect to the Internet for outbound traffic such as updates, while preventing inbound Internet connections. Why are the others incorrect? A. Identity-aware proxy controls secure access to cloud applications and VMs, such as via SSH or RDP, but does not provide outbound Internet connectivity. C. TCP/UDP load balancing distributes incoming client traffic across multiple instances, but does not grant outbound Internet access to private VMs. D. Cloud DNS translates domain names into IP addresses. It does not provide network routing or enable outbound Internet connectivity for VMs.
A DevOps team will create a new container to run on Google Kubernetes Engine. As the application will be Internet-facing, they want to minimize the attack surface of the container. What should they do? The options are: Option A, use Cloud Build to build the container images. Option B, build small containers using small base images. Option C, delete non-used versions from container registry. Option D, use a continuous delivery tool to deploy the application.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: create a new container, minimize the attack surface of the container.
The correct answer is option B, build small containers using small base images.
Why is this correct? B. Building small containers using small base images reduces the number of installed packages and utilities, which directly minimizes the container's attack surface. Why are the others incorrect? A. Cloud Build automates the build process but does not inherently minimize the attack surface of the resulting container image. C. Deleting unused versions from container registry saves storage space but does not reduce the attack surface of the running containers. D. A continuous delivery tool automates deployments but has no direct impact on the attack surface or security posture of the container itself.
You want to evaluate your organization's Google Cloud instance for PCI compliance. You need to identify Google's inherent controls. Which document should you review to find the information? The options are: Option A, Google Cloud Platform, Customer Responsibility Matrix. Option B, PCI DSS Requirements and Security Assessment Procedures. Option C, PCI SSC Cloud Computing Guidelines. Option D, Product Documentation for Compute Engine.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: PCI compliance, identify Google's inherent controls. Which document should you review?
The correct answer is option A, Google Cloud Platform, Customer Responsibility Matrix.
Why is this correct? A. The Customer Responsibility Matrix outlines the shared responsibility model, clearly defining which security controls are inherently managed by Google Cloud and which remain the customer's responsibility for compliance. Why are the others incorrect? B. This document details the PCI DSS standards requirements and assessment procedures, but does not provide information on Google Cloud's specific inherent controls. C. This provides general guidance on cloud computing security for PCI but does not detail Google's specific inherent controls. D. Compute engine documentation focuses on configuring and using the service, not on detailing a comprehensive set of inherent controls across Google Cloud for compliance evaluations.
Your company is concerned about unauthorized parties gaining access to the Google Cloud environment by using a fake login page. You must implement a solution to protect against person-in-the-middle attacks. Which security measure should you use? The options are: Option A, Security Key. Option B, Google Prompt. Option C, Text message or phone call code. Option D, Google Authenticator Application.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: unauthorized parties gaining access, fake login page, protect against person-in-the-middle attacks.
The correct answer is option A, Security Key.
Why is this correct? A. Security keys use FIDO/WebAuthn standards, requiring cryptographic proof of the origin domain. This inherently protects against fake login pages and person-in-the-middle attacks because the key will not authenticate to a fraudulent domain. Why are the others incorrect? B. Google Prompt asks for confirmation on a device but does not verify the origin domain, leaving it susceptible to person-in-the-middle attacks if a user blindly approves a fraudulent login request. C. Text messages or phone call codes can be easily intercepted or phished if a user inputs the code into a fake login page, offering no protection against person-in-the-middle attacks. D. Google Authenticator generates time-based one-time passwords, which can be intercepted if a user unknowingly enters the code into a fake login page during a person-in-the-middle attack.
You need to implement an encryption at-rest strategy that protects sensitive data and reduces key management complexity for non-sensitive data. Your solution has the following requirements: schedule key rotation for sensitive data. Control which region the encryption keys for sensitive data are stored in. Minimize the latency to access encryption keys for both sensitive and non-sensitive data. What should you do? The options are: Option A, encrypt non-sensitive data and sensitive data with Cloud External Key Manager. Option B, encrypt non-sensitive data and sensitive data with Cloud Key Management Service. Option C, encrypt non-sensitive data with Google Default Encryption and encrypt sensitive data with Cloud External Key Manager. Option D, encrypt non-sensitive data with Google Default Encryption and encrypt sensitive data with Cloud Key Management Service.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: reduces key management complexity for non-sensitive data, schedule key rotation for sensitive data, control which region the encryption keys for sensitive data are stored in, minimize the latency to access encryption keys.
The correct answer is option D, encrypt non-sensitive data with Google Default Encryption, and encrypt sensitive data with Cloud Key Management Service.
Why is this correct? D. Google Default Encryption minimizes management complexity for non-sensitive data. Cloud KMS provides scheduled key rotation and regional control for sensitive data while minimizing latency compared to Cloud EKM. Why are the others incorrect? A. Cloud EKM increases latency because keys are stored outside Google Cloud, and encrypting non-sensitive data with it unnecessarily increases complexity. B. Using Cloud KMS for non-sensitive data increases key management complexity compared to Google Default Encryption, which violates the requirement. C. Cloud EKM introduces higher latency since keys must be fetched externally, violating the requirement to minimize latency to access encryption keys.
A customer's data science group wants to use Google Cloud Platform, GCP, for their analytics workloads. Company policy dictates that all data must be company-owned and all user authentications must go through their own Security Assertion Markup Language, SAML, 2.0 Identity Provider, IDP. The Infrastructure Operations Systems engineer was trying to set up cloud identity for the customer and realized that their domain was already being used by G Suite. How should you best advise the systems engineer to proceed with the least disruption? The options are: Option A, contact Google support and initiate the domain contestation process to use the domain name in your new cloud identity domain. Option B, register a new domain name and use that for the new cloud identity domain. Option C, ask Google to provision the Data Science Manager's account as a super administrator in the existing domain. Option D, ask customers management to discover any other uses of Google managed services and work with the existing super administrator.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords: their domain was already being used by G Suite, least disruption.
The correct answer is option D, ask customers management to discover any other uses of Google managed services and work with the existing super administrator.
Why is this correct? D. Working with the existing super administrator is the least disruptive approach. It leverages the existing G Suite domain, allowing the company to configure SAML 2.0 single sign-on centrally without interrupting current services. Why are the others incorrect? A. The domain contestation process is highly disruptive, intended for hostile takeovers or unmanaged accounts, and is inappropriate since the company already owns the G Suite domain. B. Registering a new domain creates unnecessary complexity, separating the data science group's identities from the rest of the company and complicating SAML integration. C. Google support cannot bypass customer security policies to grant super administrator privileges. This must be delegated by the existing customer administrators.
Your team sets up a shared VPC network where Project Co-VPC Prod is the host project. Your team has configured the firewall rules, subnets, and VPN gateway on the host project. They need to enable Engineering Group A to attach a compute engine instance to only the 10.1.1.0/24 subnet. What should your team grant to Engineering Group A to meet this requirement? The options are Option A, compute network user role at the host project level. Option B, compute network user role at the subnet level. Option C, compute shared VPC admin role at the host project level. Option D, compute shared VPC admin role at the service project level.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords, shared VPC network, host project, attach a compute engine instance to only the 10.1.1.0/24 subnet.
The correct answer is option B, compute network user role at the subnet level.
Why is this correct? B. Granting the compute network user role at the subnet level follows the principle of least privilege, allowing the group to attach instances specifically to the 10.1.1.0/24 subnet without granting access to other subnets. Why are the others incorrect? A. Granting this role at the host project level provides access to all subnets within the shared VPC, violating the requirement to restrict access only to the specified subnet. C. The compute shared VPC admin role is used to configure and manage the shared VPC host project itself, not to grant users permission to attach instances to subnets. D. The compute shared VPC admin role is meant for administrators managing the host project configuration, not for users attaching instances, and granting it at the service project level is incorrect.
An organization wants to track how bonus compensations have changed over time to identify employee outliers and correct earning disparities. This task must be performed without exposing the sensitive compensation data for any individual and must be reversible to identify the outlier. Which cloud data loss prevention API technique should you use? The options are Option A, cryptographic hashing. Option B, redaction. Option C, format preserving encryption. Option D, generalization.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords, without exposing the sensitive compensation data, must be reversible.
The correct answer is option C, format preserving encryption.
Why is this correct? C. Format preserving encryption protects sensitive data by replacing it with ciphertext of the same format. Crucially, it is reversible using the correct encryption key, allowing the organization to decrypt the data and identify specific outliers. Why are the others incorrect? A. Cryptographic hashing is a one-way mathematical function. It is inherently irreversible, meaning the organization could not recover the original compensation data to identify specific outliers. B. Redaction completely deletes or masks the sensitive data. This process is permanent and irreversible, making it impossible to retrieve the original data to identify the outlier. D. Generalization replaces specific data points with broader categories or ranges. It obfuscates the exact value and is not reversible, meaning the exact outlier cannot be identified.
While migrating your organization's infrastructure to GCP, a large number of users will need to access GCP console. The identity management team already has a well-established way to manage your users and want to keep using your existing Active Directory or LDAP server along with the existing SSO password. What should you do? The options are Option A, manually synchronize the data in Google domain with your existing Active Directory or LDAP server. Option B, use Google Cloud Directory Sync to synchronize the data in Google domain with your existing Active Directory or LDAP server. Option C, users sign in directly to the GCP console using the credentials from your on-premises Kerberos compliant identity provider. Option D, users sign in using OpenID, OIDC, compatible IDP, receive an authentication token, then use that token to log in to the GCP console.
To arrive at the correct answer, we focus on the keywords, manage your users, keep using your existing Active Directory or LDAP server, existing SSO password.
The correct answer is option B, use Google Cloud Directory Sync to synchronize the data in Google domain with your existing Active Directory or LDAP server.
Why is this correct? B. Google Cloud Directory Sync, GCDS, is the standard and recommended tool to automate the synchronization of users, groups, and contacts from an on-premises Active Directory or LDAP server to Google Cloud. Why are the others incorrect? A. Manual synchronization is highly inefficient, prone to human error, and does not scale for a large number of users. C. The GCP console requires a Google identity for authentication. Direct sign-in using on-premises Kerberos credentials is not natively supported without identity federation. D. While OIDC is a valid federation method, it does not address the requirement of synchronizing and managing users directly from an existing Active Directory or LDAP server like GCDS does.